Close your eyes. Listen. It's 2:15 in the morning. 9:29. I have been trying to go to stayed up the moon and listening to rain, which is normally just the time. Not this time. I started to braid my hair, so I got them beauty balls. I am so sleepy, but I cannot go to sleep. I am wide awake. I want to get up and braid my hair, but I'm like, okay, I've been ripping and running all day. I washed every piece of clothing I damn near had in the house. Washed all my sheets. Washed all Lucky's stuff. His blankets and stuff. His towels. His little cover on. I washed my pillows. The window open now we can see it. And nothing is working. So I'm assuming I'm supposed to do that. So I just be talking to myself. Self-soothing myself. I done drank a whole thing of water, so I'm gonna be peeing for the next hour. Which will ensure I will not be sleeping. I don't know why I can't go to sleep. I literally went out all day. I went and washed clothes. I went and picked up candles into a beauty supply spot. What do you guys think? I could probably cook with this one. I don't know. I think we had it laying on the side. I don't know how funky it's going to act when I upload it. You can see it. I like it better that way though. Wait. Sorry guys. My apologies. It was better the way I had it because I was also need to touch it. My body is vibrating now, especially my legs. My legs are vibrating. What I call little personal earthquakes. And it feels like your body is shaking. I call them personal earthquakes. That's what it feels like. You feel like the house is shaking or your bed shaking or wherever you at when it happens that part is shaking, but it's not actually that, it's you. I am sober though. I am 3 days. Well, today makes 4. 4 days sober. Feeling good, feeling great. And I really don't even have the desire to. Someone mentioned to me, you don't have to smoke weed, you can do hemp. And I really don't want to smoke anything because I know it damages my lungs. And I'm trying to sing. I want to be my best voice. And I know smoking does horrible things to your voice and your vocal cords. So I'm just talking about singing for personal. I'll sing at your wedding though. We are family here. We are energetic family. You know me, I know you. We may not even have met personally, but you know me, especially if you're tuned into this channel. And you're on your healing journey. And you're discovering who you are. I came across a tidbit from this dude on Instagram called Forbidden Knowledge. And I'm almost hesitant to mention it because I want to do some more research. But I'll tell you this. It was about the Tower of Babel, which, because my funds have been interfered with, I've not been able to like get books and stuff like that. So a lot of my information is coming from online at the moment. But he made a mention that the story of Babel is older than the Bible. It's from Sumerian times. And if you're on this journey, you've heard about Sumerians, you've heard about Atlanteans, you've heard about Anunnaki, or you've read about them. Either way. And so he also said that Anil, who was the one, now this story is based on a Sumerian text, which, once I do my research, if that is found to be true, like everything else, the other religions that have come after this, and if you watch my last, not the last video, I forget, was I talking about this the last video? I believe, I don't think I was talking about I mentioned the Tower of Babel a few times in some videos, just a different take on what actually happened. And that was just my own thoughts, and I got to go back and watch them to see what I was thinking and what I was saying, because when I came across this video, he gave a little bit more context, which I had to write it down, y'all. I had to pause it and I had to write it down in my journal, and I put research in big bold letters, because that says a whole lot about what I was talking about religion and what people did with organized religion, which kept you in servitude. That was the video that I was talking about earlier, or yesterday, so to speak. And so, as the story goes, Anil seen the humans focusing their attention on their heart space and coming together to build a tower to get to heaven. And this enraged him. So he took out, I believe him and his sister did genetic, what did they call it? Genetic manipulation, I'm going to say. Because they manipulated genetic code, the second chromosome, he said. He said they took out the second chromosome, fused the pieces together, and then put a telomerase. Let me look this. Let me get my name. Hold on. Gotta put the little thing on. To my ladies who are watching, know it is very safe and actually healthy for you to sleep naked. Let your pum pum breathe. If you locked up all day in pants and panties and everything. Okay. See, I wrote research. Big is big. Okay, it says, during the Tower of Babel incident, which dates back earlier than the Bible, goes back to Sumerian tablets, Anil, who was also known as Yahweh, that was one of the things that got me why I paused it. Because Yahweh is in the Bible and it's like the first God, right? Okay. And people say Yahweh. I even say Yahweh. Okay. And it says Anil was also known as Yahweh, modern day. He witnesses the humans working together to get to heaven. This enraged him. He knew if humanity can come together and set their hearts as one, they can accomplish anything. So he divided them up, their languages and all that, if you know the story of them. He said, my seed shall not abide in man forever, only for 120 years. Genetic modification took out chromosome 2, fused it together, and put a telomere. Oh, so I was right. Okay, telomere cap on each end, confirmed by modern scientists. He said that current day scientists know this, and they've been experimenting with mice, bless them, and they've been able to extend their life 3 times over. If you can stop the telomeres from shrinking, running out of buffer material, you can increase the lifespan. We as human beings need to take back control of our planet. We're going to be sold time. That last part got me too. It's like, we're going to be sold time. So basically what he's saying is that they took out the chromosome, fused it together, and let's just say put end caps on it. The end caps ensure that we live a very long time because there's no end. But over time, he was saying that as we reincarnate or you replicate your DNA, and that's basically through your lineage, right? The telomeres, they disappear, which means your life ends. We die. That's the life cycle. But what he said at the end, it's what got me. Because like I tell you, and like I said before, that everything we've watched, everything individually, this is nothing, this has, because you can watch a movie with a person, another person, and their downloads and the information that they're getting from that movie can be completely different than what you are getting. So that's why I say whatever you are watching, I don't care if you're watching it with somebody, whatever you have watched is related to your life. And I'm horrible with names, but I can describe a whole scene to you. I can describe the whole movie to you. And I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Do you remember that movie when it was about time? And they were working and they had the time in their arm. And so it was like, of course you had the good and the bad. And in this case, it was the elitist and the grunge workers, okay? Middle class, basically. But they were starving, so to speak, almost. And then the elitists. Okay. Then the 1%ers. The folks that had money. And if you had money, then you had time. And they never died. They never died. Right? But he said, if we don't take back our planet, then we are going to be sold time. So there's like so many tidbits in here that I have to research. That is what spiritual journey is about. Researching. It really is. Once you get past the fascination of the synchronicities. Oh my God, there was 777. I used to be so geeked, y'all. I used to be so geeked. And I still am geeked. Now I smile, thanks for the recognition type thing. Thanks for the motivation type thing. But when I first started, it was like, oh my gosh. It was just amazing. It really was amazing. Because I went my whole life not recognizing synchronicities. It was so, or I recognized them in a passive way. I'll say that. I didn't recognize numbers like that, though. Like the repeating of numbers, that really did not come until I started my journey and my third eye opened. Ooh. I'm yawning at everything, y'all, but I cannot go to sleep. So y'all finna talk to me. Y'all finna hear me tonight or this morning. And the crazy part about it is no matter what time I go to bed, I'm up in the morning. That sunlight hit and I'm up. I am not sleeping past no 9 or 10 o'clock. It's just not going to happen. But that was just interesting that I came across that, and I just thought I'd share it with y'all. Check out my other video where I was talking about religion versus spirituality and how I was saying that I know people villainize religion, but, and either way. Because if this is true, and I'm sure it is, to a certain extent, you got to take everything with a grain of salt and do your own research. But he did give me a little tidbit, because I've heard of Anil and his sister before. I can't remember her name. But what got me was because he mentioned the story of Babel. And I have talked about the story of Babel because I watched this guy. Anywho, I've talked about the story of Babel a few times. So when I was scrolling and he mentioned it, it just made me pause. Like, oh, okay. But that part got me. Anil being Yahweh got me. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, when I was talking about the story of Babel, I was saying that it was a different take on it. Because I said, what if they... oh my gosh! I gotta go back and watch this video. Because anyway. I gotta go back and watch these videos. Because I believe that's what I said in the video. And I had not come across this. And the guy that I got this information from is Forbidden Knowledge. I'm gonna have to peruse his page. Because I only look at the things I come across when I'm scrolling. I've never really gone to his page and gone through it, right? But this right here just piqued my interest for one, because I have been talking about the story of Babel a few times. For two, Yahweh is another name for God Almighty. Okay, let's see. And I said that. What if they was trying to get to heaven, y'all? What if they was trying to get to heaven because they knew? Like, they was trying to get back. I said that. I gotta go back and watch that. Because it was a thought that just popped into my head. Well, we know it wasn't a thought that just popped in my head. You know, that's my old 3D self talking that when I know it was God and my ancestors. I know my ancestors like, we gave you that information. Funny thing is, y'all, is before I was on my spiritual journey, I used to think my mind was my mind. I did. I used to think my mind works so crazy, y'all. It absorbs so much information, and not just on a physical level from what I read or what I hear or what people tell me. It absorbs it on every sense, and my mind makes sense of it. It's funny because someone described it as being in my mind like a file cabinet, and I can pick out. I remember what this date was. I remember this. I remember what you did. I remember this. I remember this. I remember this. I remember this. And it is. My memory is like an elephant. And I used to be like, when I come up with ideas, it was just me just coming up with ideas. It was nothing. But now I know it was something. And I wasn't giving credit where credit was definitely due, right? Because I really did think that once we were made, once we were created, once we incarnated down here, that the rest was up to us. I believed in God. I believed in miracles. I believed in divine intervention. But I also believed that we had to do what we had to do. And we had to learn everything we had to learn until I hit that proverbial brick wall. And you will hit it on your spiritual journey, know that. And that wall, I just read a meme too where it was like, this lady was telling her friend that she hit a wall. And she said sometimes walls are meant for us to lean on in the rest. But if you're like me and you're used to working, then resting is a foreign concept. And so sometimes God will place so many brick walls in your path for him to sit you down. We have to learn to sit down, y'all, and not move. And listen to what I'm about to tell y'all now, because I experienced this. And I can walk y'all through every step where I thought I was sitting still, where I thought I was resting, where I thought, and each time I thought, God was like, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough. I'm telling you, this happened like 20 times, y'all. It did. It was like, okay. And then I thought by me not even moving around because I didn't have a car that I was sitting still. No. Sitting still means absolutely doing nothing. Not reading, just sitting there. Just sit there. Sit still. If you're reading, you're not sitting still. If you're writing, you're not sitting still. If you're crocheting, you're not sitting still. If you're making videos, you're not sitting still. Okay? Sitting still is an art that I am slowly cultivating and mastering at the same time. Slowly cultivating means because I'm learning. I'm still a student. But I'm mastering it because God is making it. And I'm here for it. Because when you sit still, you can review your thoughts. Your thoughts are not your own. You got to see where your thoughts are coming from, because your thoughts dictate your actions. And we don't sit still enough to understand, overstand what our thoughts are saying to us, especially if the negative thoughts. And a lot of us grew up in negative households. A lot of us grew up in fractured households. A lot of us grew up in one-parent household. A lot of us grew up in abusive, mentally, physically, emotionally abusive households, okay? I experienced all of them. I got my behind whooped. I got called bitches. I never got called a hoe though. My mama didn't go that far, but I was all kinds of bitches. I was. Or a motherfucker. It's funny, but it's not funny. You gotta have a sense of humor about yourself. Gotta learn to laugh at yourself. Emotionally, because they were narcissistic and I was the scapegoat. Mentally, because it debilitates you mentally. It puts you in a state of confusion where you don't know where you end and where everybody else begins. And so in that type of energy, you are confused, which most people, when they're confused, they either do nothing or they do too much. When you're confused, that is a sign to sit still. If I don't know nothing else, if I ain't learned anything else, I learned that when I am confused, I will do nothing. That means I will not move, because clarity brings forth results, solutions to get the results. But if you don't have clarity and you got all these thoughts rolling in your head, thoughts that ain't yours, thoughts that are yours, thoughts that are other people's, thoughts that are other energies, thoughts that are other entities, you're going to make a mistake. And it may cost you. It will cost you. It'll cost you time, okay? But it may cost you more than that in the long run. Because if we sit still and we listen first to what our ancestors and the higher realm and the spiritual realm has to say, they'll give us clarity, but they can't have clarity in confusion. So if you're confused as to if you should do this, if I should do that, do I believe them? Should I not believe them? Should I take that job? Should I not take that job? Should I get married? Do I not get married? If you are confused and you can't tell who is for you and who not for you, baby, it's time to sit still, do nothing. I bet you can't, because I couldn't. It took me a minute to be able to sit still for 30 minutes. I can sit still now for 30 minutes and not do anything. But I have to be outside. I can be in my room too, but I love outside. I would encourage you to get out there in nature. That's what God speaks to you too, through the trees, through the birds, through the butterflies, through the dragonflies, through the spiders, through the foxes, through the deers. He sends messages. God sends messages. Your ancestors send messages. But the way it's looking now, Yahweh was trying to destroy us. Yahweh was trying to destroy us. But I ain't going to say that like for certain, because I have to do my own research. But that story of Babel was what I was talking about, though, and I said that. I think they was trying to get back to heaven because they was done. They was like, okay, God, we sorry. We sorry. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch my videos now that I got this little tidbit as like a piece of the puzzle. So now I can go back and watch my videos on where I was talking about Babel and see what's going on. What's going on. Okay. I just drank a whole bunch of water, so it's definitely a potty break. And my little puff. Cut all my hair. But I got puffs. And if you can't deal with me with my puffs, then you can't deal with me when I am all done. My puffs is cute though. You kidding? Alright, my loves. Namaste. Ashe. Mazel tov.